No, we'll try it. A different kind of content than what I normally do, and we're going to be putting this over on the Nekosaurus Gaming channel. So we can try to populate that channel with some content of some variety. Not leg content, you know, there's leg contents there. For those who care about leg content. No more leg content. But, so, January 22nd of next year, we are going to be getting Pokemon Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus, rather. And I am ridiculously excited. While I haven't beaten the new Pokemon Snap game, I am happy with what it is. It's felt a little grindy, and that's like my only problem with it. But aside from that, I've been happy with the game itself. I am also incredibly happy, because I apparently just found out 10 minutes ago. I don't know why I didn't know this already. Or maybe I had forgotten it, who knows. But that Arceus is going to be using a mixture of starters from multiple regions. So we've got Rowlet, Oshawott, and Cyndaquil as our various starters for Pokemon Arceus. I am probably going to be doing Cyndaquil because Gen 2 is my favorite Pokemon generation. You give me a starter from Gen 2, and that's exactly what I'm going to be using. That's just kind of how it works. Have we evolved from Topics to leg content? Yes! We are now in leg content. Leggy. We just do that like a dono goal. A certain amount of donos, we get leggy content. Anyway. Why am I excited about this? I guess the best way to explain why I'm excited about Pokemon Legends Arceus is to explain why I've been so frustrated with the Pokemon series for a while. So in Pokemon games, there's always been this veneer of seeming to be open world, but in reality being linear, with like a handful of points where you get choices. So like in the first Pokemon game, right? You have to do, in order, going to Viridian City, going to Pewter City, and then going through Mount Moon, and getting to Cerulean City. After that point, you do have to kind of do Vermilion. You at least have to do the St. Anne to get cut, but after you get cut, that world kind of opens up. You can choose to do Erica as your next gym. You can choose to go all the way down to fight Koga. You can choose to get a drink in the giant shopping mall in that game, and then go your way to fight Sabrina instead. You can choose to do all of that. You can choose, if you fight Koga and you get Surf, you can choose to go and fight Blaine before fighting Sabrina. Like, there's a lot of openness after that initial stage of preventing you from doing what you want. And in Generation 2, things are a little more linear, but they don't feel like they're more linear, if that makes sense. Because there's a lot of ways in which that map circles back on itself, making it feel like quite an open world. Generation 3 felt ridiculously open, even compared to 1 and 2. Not necessarily that it was mechanically so, but we had mechanics in the game that incentivized exploration of the environment so much. Being able to set up your own, like, personal treehouse in that game always made that world feel more of an open living place than a linear set of hallways I needed to trek down. Fast forward all the way to Pokemon Sword and Shield, and these games are very, very linear. The most open thing about them is the one wild area in those games, and that wild area, honestly, as neat as it is as a concept, as much as I don't hate it as a concept, it ends up feeling like the wild area is where you go to play Pokemon Go, but in the game. For those of you who've played Pokemon Go, you're basically walking around, randomly trying to find like a public park, and then just trying to capture Pokemon at various nodes in the public park. That's basically what you're doing. Just trade out Pokestops for nodes where you do raid battles, and then have Pokemon pop up in the environment as if there are lures everywhere. That's basically what the wild area is, just in mechanical form. And it's not bad, but it's also not what I want from a Pokemon game. I don't want to walk out in the world and into, like, the Pokemon slot machine, almost. And that's kind of what the wild area feels like, is the Pokemon Go Pokemon slot machine. And that works for Pokemon Go, because I'm walking outside, I'm physically out there. Like, I am engaged when I am outside playing Pokemon Go because I'm outside in the real world. There will always be little distractions for me while I'm out there. There will be people I can talk to. There will be things I can do because I'm out in the real world. If I go out into the square where there are 18 Pokestops, okay, Baba, I love you, but you cannot cuddle my microphone. But if I go to the square where there are 18, 21 Pokestops, I'm not just there to go play Pokemon Go. I'm there to get a slice of pizza. I'm there to, get a treat or go to the candy shop. I'm there, to go to the pet store, walk my dogs. Like, these are things that I'm physically there to do, and Pokemon Go is an extra. But when you make that the entirety of it, that's not enough to make that game feel open. Outside of that, Pokemon Sword and Shield feels super, super linear. Blood Moon Phoenix, thank you very much for resubscribing. Like, I know on one hand, the game should feel linear because it's a competition. The game is the first one to actually have a Pokemon League that functions like a sports competition. So you're running through that sports competition, you're trying to get, town to town, to do every gym leader challenge. But every town is structured very identically. They look kind of open, they look like there's interesting things to do, but it's really just a handful of hallways disguised as thoroughfares to interesting parts of the city. Even the larger cities are just series of hallways disguised to be more open when they're really not. There's a big fucking majestic dragon palace, and I'm just like, oh cool, I'd love to explore that. What do you do there? You just do the Pokemon League competition. It is functionally a non-interesting area to explore. It just looks cool. I miss the openness of earlier Pokemon games. I miss the feeling of openness in the ones that weren't necessarily more open because the game designers knew what they were doing to give me that feeling that the game had opened up for me and the world didn't feel like it was just a Pokemon Go slot machine. Again, that works in reality. It doesn't work for me in the video game environment. So, why am I excited about Arceus? Arceus feels like it's going to be that open world Pokemon game I've been wanting since Generation 1 worked for me. And if Arceus ends up being the same kind of formula where, like, for the first couple challenges the game is very linear and then the game opens up, I'm fine with that. I don't need it to be, super fully open world like Breath of the Wild, where even the tutorial area feels like it could have been its own game. I will be happy with a game that is mostly open, so long as we do not have the hallways of previous Pokemon games. So what are the things that I really want in this game? What things do I really, really want to make this game mine? To make this game the game that I'm super excited for? And these are the things that I also think are probably going to be in it. Number one, more than anything, dungeons. I want dungeons to come back. I desperately want dungeons to come back. Think about the original Pokemon. What is the first major hurdle for you in that game? Viridian Forest. After Viridian Forest is the first dungeon in that game. And while it is linear, there is still exploration to be had. After that, Mount Moon. You can get lost in Mount Moon as a kid. I did. After Mount Moon, you have... I can't remember what the place is called, but it's where you had to use Flash. Rock Tunnel, I believe. You have Rock Tunnel between Lavender Town and I believe Cerulean City? Yeah, it's Cerulean City. To the right of Cerulean City leads to the Rock Tunnel. And then you've got Lavender Town at the end of there. And Rock Tunnel is a place you can also get lost in. That area is huge. And that's not even counting Seafoam Islands. That's not counting a much smaller dungeon, the Mansion. That's not counting Victory Road, of all things. These labyrinthine areas. And then when you get into Generation 2, we've got like the Ice Cave, and we've got a bunch of other memorable places in that game that are just massive in scale, especially for what those games were. And to have none of that in games like Sword and Shield, it makes me upset. And it's why a game that seems to be promising me an open world makes me super excited. I want to see the return of fully fledged, explorative Pokemon dungeons. I want dungeons I can get lost in. That's what I want. Jay Rodimus, thank you very much for redeeming your points for an hada hada. You fucking monster. Bellsprout Tower, yes, Bellsprout Tower was an awesome dungeon as well. And the burned towers in Generation 2, going and doing those on your quest to find Ho-Oh. Like, all of those things are so, so good. And I want to see them come back, because I want that excitement. I don't want to turn on a Pokemon game and go, okay, let's go to Gym 1, Gym 2, Gym 3, Gym 4, because I've had that experience before. Sequoia, thank you so much for the follow. But I've had that experience before. I've had that experience multiple times. I want a new experience with these games. Similar Nintendo games. When I play Breath of the Wild, I'm getting a very different Zelda experience than what I'm used to. When I play Mario Odyssey, I'm getting a very different Mario experience than what I'm used to, discounting Mario 64 and to a lesser extent Sunshine. When I'm playing the Metroid series, I get a vastly different experience popping in Prime than I do popping in the original games, and I'm hopefully going to get a vastly different experience when I pop in Metroid Dread. When that happens. For Pokemon, though, it feels like I've been playing the same recycled game for the last few generations. And it's felt like a problem since Gen 6. So I really hope that in Arceus, we're going to get a much more loosely formed game. I'll be okay if there's some glitches in this game. I'll be okay if there are some issues with the programming in it, so long as when I pop this game in, I'm going to be able to get fully invested in it. And by invested, I think what I really mean is immersed. I want to hop into this game, and I want to immerse myself in a world. That's what happens when I pop in Breath of the Wild. I stop thinking of this as a game with objectives, and I start thinking of this as a world that I'm existing in for however long I have the game turned on. That's what I want here. The reason I'm okay with glitches is because as long as they're not game-breaking glitches, honestly, if you can stomach Skyrim, you should be able to stomach him here. Perfectly honest, that's how I feel. What do I think about the Sun and Moon approach with less traditional gym battles? Sun and Moon, honestly, they felt like less traditional gym battles when I was being told about them, but then when you actually were doing them, they were functionally just gym battles. The challenges in Sun and Moon were gym battles. They just didn't call them that, and the story didn't structure them that way, but they felt like gym battles when I was doing them. That how long until Cirrus notices the war? Lilith, of all, when I am trying new content, when I am trying something I haven't tried before, doing a live video game thing, that is when you do this. That is when you decide, okay, you absolute degenerate, you fucking monster. Lilith Rose for the 50,000 channel points. Jesus Christ, why? 50,000 channel points, Lilith. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. I almost hate you. I almost hate you. Almost. Super Vaporeon, thank you very much for cleansing my larynx with 500 channel points for an oh, whoa. Oh, well. For those who might not know, because you're not familiar with my content, since this is the first thing I'm going to be hosting over on the gaming channel specifically, of this variety, on my channel there is a war between Uwu and Owo, and I am Team Owo. As a result, it only costs 500 channel points to make me Owo. And Uwu, on the other hand, 50,000 channel points, because that is the price of war. All of you. Obi-senpai, thank you very much for the 500 points for the drink. Yeah, we're here to fuck your day. I see that. I see that. But no, I want to see Pokémon Legends Arceus be a good open world Pokemon game. I know it's going to have turn-based combat. We've seen that in the trailers. And I'm okay with having turn-based combat again, because the turn-based combat, the way they've got it set up and structured, it looks and feels a little more dynamic. The Pokemon look like they've got more livelihood to them. It looks like they are in motion much better when I'm watching them. I mean, hell, let me see if I can pull up real quick Pokemon Arceus battle gameplay. Because it just looks better. It just looks better. So we're gonna look at the official trailer real quick. I don't care about the this is a tale shit. I care about showing the actual stuff from inside the game. Baba, I can't see. But like, aside from 3 FPS Pokemon, like that way of doing battles, just being able to be like separate from the battle like that and command the Pokemon, that feels much more dynamic already, even though I know it's going to be it's going to be the same battle system. Like, we've already kind of seen that it's going to be that. So I did just forget that these are the starters for the game. Okay, I'm just dumb. I'm sorry. But I am super happy to have that change, because I don't think Pokemon needs a different battle system. I just think it needs a way to make that combat more engaging. Turn-based combat in Dungeons & Dragons is not a disengaging experience. It's about how you implement it, and that's down to your DM. Likewise, turn-based combat in Pokemon can be a very engaging experience. It comes down to how you implement, and that's up to your game developer. Sequoia says, Rowlet, the perfect Pokemon. Have you met Chikorita? Have you met Chikorita? But, point is, over and above everything, I am excited. I am trepidatious, but I am excited. Because unlike this being touted as a mainline Pokemon series, where there are expectations on it that will be put forward to be very, very bland, which is what we've been getting a lot, I think with this game, because it will have a different set of expectations, we might get a very, very good experience from here. That's my hope. I'm hoping we get that openness. I'm hoping that what I see from that battle system looks to be exactly as neat as I feel it is. I don't need a national dex with this game. Hell, with this game, I'd be fine with only like 250 Pokemon. Give me a good world. Give me an engaging story. Give me open dungeons to explore. Give me reasons to walk around your world besides I can find a Trico on Route 7. Give me better reasons to explore your world than an Eevee comes out over on Route 3 at night and, oh, I don't have that for my Pokedex yet. I want to walk around and I want to ask myself questions. I want to see an abandoned village that is torn apart, and I want to imagine the devastation that happened when a village got knocked down by a set of rampaging Bullfango. That's what I want. I want to see people existing with Pokemon in this environment in a way that the Pokemon anime has always tried to convince me that they do, but I've never yet seen in these games. That's what I want. Over and above anything. I want a world that compels me to step foot in it and explore it. But those are just hopes from one fan of the Pokemon series. And apparently, my new YouTube video is numbers again. God damn it. I am bad at uploading videos to YouTube, apparently. I'm just awful at it. So with that said, though, if you guys enjoyed this content, if you haven't already, please hit the like button over on YouTube, hit the follow button over on Twitch if you're there, subscribe over on YouTube if you haven't already, and over and above everything, let's all get our fingers crossed and hope that Nintendo will pull it through with this game. I am excited. And I want to continue to have reasons to be excited. I want to feel like a kid again. And Pokemon is the perfect series to make me feel like a kid again. As always, everyone, insert end video tagline here.